All right, this is one of the first runs from Estimate. This is his second one of the day. It goes for 9 yards, but I thought the Broncos did a great job of really running downhill when they had opportunities to, and I'm frustrated that they didn't stick with it. So right now we're going to get a power to the front side. So you're going to get Ben Powers. He's going to come and kick out the first block. You're going to get Burton, who's lined up here. He's going to run through and kick out the second block. And then Estime is going to take this ball and go right through the line of scrimmage. And this is great because on the front side, everybody has angles on who they're blocking. So we're going to get a block back right here. The double team is supposed to be working at this backside linebacker. This tight end is going to check the double team and also help on the other backside linebacker. So we should definitely have more than enough for this to be a successful play. And it is. Estime does a great job of setting up this block. So if you see the first clip, let me go to the next one. This end, which is Khalil Mack, he does a great job of squeezing this ball, which make this hole very, very small. But what Estime does is he widens just enough for Khalil Mack to stutter his feet, which allows for Ben Powers to get on the block. Then he cuts back and gets vertical. So I thought Estime did a great job of running the ball yesterday. And this power downhill running game really worked for the Broncos. Did it out of a couple different formations, but every time they ran it, I felt like it was successful. When we got into like the gun runs and a couple different options, it wasn't as successful as us downhill smash mouth football, and I wanted to see more of it.
Yeah, felt like the first half they were really just cooking them in the trenches. That the offensive line was just leaning on them and dominating and doing whatever they wanted. And the second half felt like a very different story.
It was very different. And I don't know if we were tired. I know you heard Bo Nix talk about, we were tired in the short week and how tough it is to play, 4 days apart. But it definitely felt like it was different in the second half.
Yeah, and just having more runs like this,
Yeah.
Just letting the O-line cook and do what they do best.
Yeah, because those are big boys. You want those guys moving downhill.
And then you get that going. There's the, play action boot game that can come off of that. And then the defense is guessing a little more.
Because if you're not gashing people in the running game, the play action doesn't work. Nobody's biting on anymore because they know you're not running the ball well. All right, next one. We get a 3-by-1 set. They're going to motion Marvin Mims across. And with that motion, you're going to see the linebackers bump. So ultimately, you know that they're in zone right now. I thought this was a great job by Bo Nix, just being decisive with his ability to find the open receiver and making a good throw and a good catch. So right now, they're going to hike the ball, and I believe Bo Nix is reading this half of the field right now. So they got a too high look. They're in quarters or Tampa 2, but it's on Bo Nix to diagnose this play. So as the play progresses, you see this corner get depth with the wide receiver. So you ultimately know they're not playing corner 2. Otherwise, this corner would be jamming. He'd be up on the line, and he'd be sinking right down that hole. And then also they're not in a squat side like they are to this side because the corner would be playing much closer to the wide receiver. So with Bo Nix knowing that, I think he diagnoses this play really well and then finds Vele very quickly. This guy's in quarters coverage, so he has number 2 to the flat, but just based off his alignment, he's too far inside. So as soon as the corner gets depth with number 1, Bo Nix knows right now, gets the ball out of his hands quickly. And I think that's what he's been good at is the quick plays, the quick throws. He has to still work on being able to diagnose defense to take some deeper shots. But in these kind of situations, I think Bo Nix is getting really good at diagnosing defenses very quickly. All right. This was the touchdown to Burton. And I love that the Broncos still use this old school goal line formations. Like you rarely see it anymore. You go over it every year in training camp, but you got about 2, maybe 3 teams that you'll play all year that do that. And this is, for me, this is the hardest play as a linebacker to be able to defend. So basically, as a linebacker, we're always taught everybody's man-to-man in goal line. And in order to protect linebackers from all this space out here, what they tell you is this outside guy has the first up or the first out, and the inside guy has the second guy that's inside. So if he stays inside, he'll have him. If he goes out, then the linebacker will have him. So basically, the linebacker is going to take the closest body to him. So they're going to run a play action here where Burton starts to the left. So normally the linebacker would be on this guy if this guy went out right now. But if he starts to the left, all bets are off. You have to now take this fullback, and he's going to stay on number 1 because we're all downhill. We're thinking stop the run. As soon as the fullback goes away, the corner is taking his eyes off him, and he's staying on number 1. So do a great job of coming back. So the linebacker who has Burton is way out here. It looks like this guy has him, but he has no pass responsibilities. He's rushing the quarterback. And as the play progresses, you see him fall off of this man. We're able to hit Burton in the end zone. That's a touchdown. I think it's just great play design. And it's always a tough play for the linebackers because that little bit of misdirection makes you stutter your feet just enough for Burton to beat you to the outside to the sideline. You got to rush through bodies. You got to find a way to get past the safety and then get to Burton, and it's really tough to do.
Yeah, that's a beautiful formation. I mean, that's the identity football we're talking about with the extra offensive linemen in Pert and everything. That was a beautiful thing. And I mean, Bo seems really comfortable running those kinds of plays.
Yeah, when he's outside the pocket, I feel like he feels his most comfortable. He can see the field there. He feels like he's able to make all the throws he needs to on the run. When he's outside the pocket, he really looks comfortable.
Well, because I think it simplifies things. It becomes like a half-field read. It becomes like reading a read option in college, right? Like, it's the same thing. Am I going to give it off? Am I going to run it myself, or a read pass option, Or you're reading one guy and he dictates everything. And that's kind of what that formation broke it down for him, right?
Like you said, it really breaks it down to half the field, and you have one or two options. If it's not there, throw it away or run it.
Right.
Yeah, it makes it really quick.
Yeah.
All right, this one was the touchdown pass to Vele. This is a great job of Bo Nix reading. This is like a RPO, so they got the zone read right here. And Bo Nix is reading, in my opinion, he's reading this corner right now. As soon as he sees the corner stays down, he knows that he has Vele one-on-one with the safety, outside leverage there. So,
because they've got a tight formation here, and we're reading man coverage. So you're forcing that corner is the guy who's got to contain if Bo tries to run that outside.
Yeah, so basically I think why they're reading him right here is because if he goes with Vele, we're going to have the kick out block here, and he can hand the ball off, and that's positive yardage. But as soon as he sits down, they know they have space to work this outside area of the field. So as soon as he sits down and doesn't pull it, Bo's going to scramble out. He knows that he has Vele. I think this is a great throw by him. And the safety, he's just not in position from the jump to be able to make a play on this ball. Great play, great touchdown. And when those two guys are working well together, I think the Broncos are very successful. 3 touchdowns in the first half, 21 points. The Broncos were rolling. Like, we need to find a way to just have a few more of these plays in the second half, and I think it would have been a really good game for us.
Yeah, I mean, you're highlighting 2 of your 4 plays are out route concepts to Vele, and Bo and him really being on the same page and executing that nicely. I mean, much like I can't remember many targets to Sutton in the second half, I can't remember a ton of out routes to Vele in the second half either.
No, I can't either. It definitely it was a different game in the second half. Completely different game.
Yeah.
All right, we got my man Chris Abrams-Drain out here on an island. I think he does a great job of running this route for the receiver. He has Palmer, 6'5", big target. He's able to keep his eyes downfield or on the quarterback. Justin Herbert is eyeing this route the entire time. As soon as he sees the coverage he wants, he knows he's going at Chris Abrams-Drain. He's a young guy. He's a rookie. They want to see what he's made out of. But I thought he did a great job of staying square long enough to run the route for the receiver. So he's going to run like a shallow post. He stays square and undercuts this route beautifully. And I thought this was a great play by Chris Abrams-Drain. You talk about great teams. Great teams always have depth at most positions. So you talk about a guy that is playing his second game, second start, and did a really good job of making this play. And this was all him, one-on-one. Everybody else is locked up, covered up. Great job by him being able to get the pick right here. And that's a lot of young talent. So I'm glad he's playing well.
No kidding. Herbert there is thinking his wideout has inside leverage there, and he's just going to be able to squeeze it, huh?
Yeah, I think he's thinking right now, as soon as he sees the safety come down, he knows he has space right here. And I think as Chris Abrams' drain doesn't undercut this, or Justin Herbert puts a little more air on it, it would be a tougher play for Chris to make. But because Chris did a great job of seeing it, and at the same time Justin threw it too much on the line, it allowed Chris to have time to be able to get into the line of the ball and make a play here.
We were flying so high in that first half, Todd. We were flying so high. Man. God. Right at this point, too, like right before the fair catch interference and all that other stuff went down.
Yeah.
Not wasting enough time to end the half, all of that. Yeah. We were flying so high.
We were 44 seconds before going into just the half on a beautiful high note.
Yeah, so true.
This was the great play from Justin Herbert. Just had to throw this on here because it was just a good throw. But this was safety's coming down. They're in the zone. Safety's off 2. Nickel's off 2. We're off 3. And then we got we're in thirds. Oh. Now we're in thirds on the back end. So they're going to get the motion outside. PJ Locke does a good job of getting off on number 2. The corner's going to take number 1. But unfortunately, as the play developed, she talked about Justin Herbert being able to extend plays. We're doing a good job of trying to get home to him. We got rushers, Zach Allen, Nick Bonito is trying to get home. We got guys that are very, very close to putting pressure on the quarterback. But as the play progresses, just for a second, PJ Locke had his eyes back. That allowed Justin Herbert to get out the pocket. And while he's being tackled by Zach Allen, who had 4 QB hits in the game, I think he played a really good game and is getting back to, his stride. He throws an absolute dime right here to the running back. And this is a tough play. And this is Justin Herbert extending plays. Our rush is good. Our coverage is almost there. But unfortunately, sometimes you got to tip your hat because there's not much more we could do on this play. I think Justin Herbert just made a great play.
Do you think in retrospect it was a bit of they didn't do the best job of maintaining contain on Herbert? That they kind of treated him as more of a conventional pocket passer when maybe it's more of a like Russell Wilson type game plan, like keep this guy in the pocket, don't let him break contain.
Yeah, because I wouldn't say that I view them in the same light as like some of those more mobile quarterbacks. And you're thinking he's nursing an ankle, he's not as mobile, he didn't practice on Tuesday, maybe that means he can't move around, so let's just get after him and see what happens.
For sure.
But it's tough because when quarterbacks, especially mobile quarterbacks, scramble, we always do this scramble drill in practice. And all the shallow guys, they go deep. So you see guys turning up here. If you're shallow, you're supposed to go deep. And if you're deep, you're supposed to come back to the football. And usually, coverage is not ready for you to make that second adjustment. Yeah. And I think that's what happened here on this play is you had a shallow guy that was covered. All of a sudden, Herbert scrambles. Now he goes deep, and that's what allows for him to be open.
Yeah, I mean, it's plays above the X's and O's as we were talking about.
Yeah.
Do you feel like did they go away from blitzing too much in the second half defensively? Because the Chargers started to commit more guys to the rush, and that seemed to make a difference.
Yeah. I think the Broncos did a good job of staying balanced. I know their blitz rate is very heavy, but I mean, it's really because they rush 5 more so than they're actually sending a lot of blitzers. So I think for the most part, they stayed true to themselves, and I just felt like it was more Zach Allen applying pressure this game than Nick Bonito and Jonathan Cooper like they have in games in the past. All right, this is the throw that everybody in Broncos country, including Bo Nix, wants back. He's on an island right here. You got Marvin Mims versus a rookie corner. This is exactly the matchup that we want. As soon as he breaks this out, I believe Marvin has him beat right here.
Yeah.
And it's all on Bo Nix to just put the ball in the right position. He does a great job of looking off the safety, bringing his eyes here. But unfortunately, Marvin Mims has this guy beat. I mean, you could throw this ball anywhere you want from the 20 yards in, and I think it's a touchdown 99% of the time.
And look at the protection there, Todd.
Great protection. He has tons of time to throw. He's not in any rush, not in a hurry. Just unfortunately, he underthrows this ball. And you talk about 24-27 in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
We hit this, we go up 31-27. I think this gives us a lot of momentum to continue playing well in the fourth quarter and be able to hang on enough to win the game. So this is the play that was underthrown. Some people might say PI. It might be PI. I do think he got there a little bit early.
It's
so
PI.
Per the rules,
It's PI.
per the NFLPA and NFL rules, this should be PI. You're not allowed to contact the receiver before the ball is there. And sometimes you have those bang plays where it's quick and it happens fast. This was not one of them. I think this should have been a PI.
Yeah, 100%. It also doesn't help that he's getting like all up in his face.
Yeah. Yeah.
What a shame.
I know. And this was just, it probably should have just been thrown in the end zone. I think Marvin Mims finds a way to run underneath it and makes the play.
Marvin's really turned into quite the big play weapon.
Man. I mean, last year, everybody was calling for more Marvin Mims, and I think this year he's just proven it. Even the play in the backfield where they ran the RPO and then dumped out the little bubble screen to him, he uses his speed to get up the sideline, ends up getting tackled by his shirt. Maybe, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that was amazing.
Tuck the shirt in, we'll be all right. But no, he's playing really well right now. He's playing really well. All right, last play I got for you guys. All right, this is the 43-yard rush by the Chargers. And like I said, the Broncos did a pretty good job of stopping the run all game. It's just with 3 minutes and 35 seconds on the clock where you need to get the ball back, this is the most inopportune time to give up a 43-yard rush. And what you see right here is they're just running lead strong. But what the problem is, it's not just with one player and it's not just at one block. What happens is, let me go back if I can. All right, so this double team does a really good job right here of moving the D tackle Roach all the way to the other A gap, or really the B gap. You get Zach Allen one-on-one. And also this quote-unquote double team does a great job of moving the D tackles. So on the hash, a little bit outside the hash, the D tackle that was on this hash is right here.
Oof.
The other D tackle that was lined right here is right here. They completely spread the two D tackles apart. So, pause. So, I know you just want to put it on linebackers right off the start, but from the start of this play, it was not a good play defensively from the front four. After the front four, you got to move on to the back end. So, the way this is set up right now, I don't know if I can erase it anymore. He has B gap, he has C gap. This backside linebacker has A gap. This front side linebacker has this B, and he's supposed to spill any block that comes to him because he has a safety outside that's going to hit and force it. This corner has the C gap. This D tackle has the B gap. All the gaps are taken.
Yeah.
So people want to blame Cody for coming inside of this block when Justin Strnad is here. That's what Cody is supposed to do. Now, could he have taken it on better and been more physical? Absolutely. He should have went downhill and absolutely smashed this guy's face in and stayed physical, splatter it, but do it in a way so that you're not creating a bigger hole. But because this tackle was able to get bumped out so far, the guard pushes him out to the tackle and then goes up and gets the safety.
Yeah.
So the safety who's supposed to fit inside on this play is outside of the tackle, and the corner doesn't know to replace him inside. So it's multiple levels that didn't do well on this play, which leads to them being able to run right down this seam right here. You got Cody inside, which he should be, but it needs to be more physical. And then Strnad, how he could help us is if he plays it a little bit slower, he'll be able to see where the ball is spitting out and get over the top if he needs to help us. That's the only thing that he could have done better to be able to help the team. But it is all 11 players did not do their job on this play. It's not one guy.
Yeah.
It's not one position. I think everybody on this play could have been better.